Yo guys, what is good? Welcome back to another video. So, I think I've been in my flat for like 5 weeks straight pretty much now, and I've only really left for sort of my daily exercise, which is usually like a 20-minute run, or going over the road to the shop to get some food. Now, I think I probably would have gone a bit stir crazy if it wasn't for keeping my routine. Now, the last video I did, I'll put a card up here, talks a little bit about some of the things that I've been doing to keep myself sane, and home workouts featured within that video. So I thought, why not do a whole video and dedicate a whole video to showing you some of the things I do as part of my home workouts. Now, before we get into it, I want to make it clear that I am not a PT. I do not work in any gyms. I am not qualified in the slightest. However, I am an avid gym goer. I am really into my fitness and keeping healthy. I'm also a martial artist, so I do have some understanding of how the body works. But yeah, these are a selection of exercises that I've developed and I've been working through myself, partly through watching YouTube videos myself, but also partly through experimenting and seeing what feels right for me. I am going to be using some equipment. You don't need to, but obviously if you've got some, depending on what equipment you have, you can obviously use it to support you in these exercises to make them harder or more challenging for you. Right guys, so I am now going to take you through a selection of exercises that I would do for my legs, for sort of my pushing muscles, so my chest and my shoulders, and for my pulling muscles, so my back. I'll also show you some core work, and I'll incorporate some arms throughout this as well. Now, I would suggest that you pair these exercises up, so you do supersets and things like that to really tax the muscle, and ultimately I want you to try, or I suggest that you try and tax the muscle as much as possible. So when I'm doing this, I'm doing lots of repetitions of press-ups, I'm doing lots and lots of pull-ups to replicate or to tax the muscle in a different way. Obviously we don't have the amount of weight that we normally would if we were in the gym, so we've got to do it in a different style. Right, let's start with some legs.
Started out with half and I flipped it into double. Started out with half and I flipped it into double.
Said I'm a gym, we gotta go. Take one, then I dash away from Popo.
Yeah.
Snakes around my grass, they want my dodo. But I keep a 40, they don't know, no. Got the Henny, you get cold. Smoke on Reggie, that's a no-no. Driving slow-mo in the photo. Bitches ready for them photos.
There's a lot of things on my mind, yeah. Stacking money like 365. Cause this shit is real. Cause this shit is real. Cause this shit is real. Oh my.
Don't say you get money, boy, you been broke. Digit dash up in my circle, you can roll. Only cash up in my vision and the soul. Now I'm smashing on the model cause I bought.
Hey,
On this day is cream, I'ma take the team. We gon' be hot like steam. I just got the dreams, I know what you mean. It's all funny to the feet, I get 50 to my G.
hey.
Okay guys, and to hit your carbs, which are also really important to hit, all you need is a raised surface. Now for me, I'm fortunate enough that I've got an exercise bike in my room. So all I do is I stand down on the bottom of the exercise bike, and then holding onto the handles, I'm able to lift myself up and down. Now, an alternative thing that you can use, which I've used as well, is if you have a deep baking tray, something that's sturdy that you know that can take your weight, flip the baking tray upside down, and that also creates a nice surface. Alternatively, and I unfortunately live by myself here in my flat, but if you've got someone who lives with you, if you take a seat on a chair or a bench or something similar, and you get them to sit on your knees, again, you can push through your toes and you'll engage that calf really nicely. And obviously the heavier the person on your lap, the more engagement that you will get. Okay guys, so the next set of exercises that we are going to move on to is our push workout. Now you've got to be careful that you don't completely sap your arms when you are doing this. Obviously your tricep is the pushing muscle, and so in your arm, and so the last thing you want to do is to really kill your triceps and have no juice left for your shoulders and your chest. Here is a selection of moves and exercises that you can do to target those key areas. Another thing I do, you just saw me working out with the band, is I will also get my dumbbells and I will do dumbbell flies. Now, I don't really bother using my dumbbells for any kind of chest or any pressing motion, purely because they're not heavy enough to engage my chest effectively enough. I might as well just stick with my press-ups because, well, my body weight is heavier than those dumbbells. But a nice fly would work. Now, you can do the flies in two ways. You can lie down on the floor and you can have your hands above you and you can extend your arms out so that your elbows are almost touching the floor and then squeeze back in again. Or if you have it, I have this little sort of bench here. You can lay on a bench or something equivalent if you've got it, and you can do it so that your arms come off the side of the bench. Now when you're doing those, make sure that you're thinking and focusing on squeezing you with your elbows. So imagine that your elbows have like, try and picture squeezing your elbows together rather than pulling your hands in. Alright, pulling your hands in like this isn't activating your chest. If your hands are coming in around here, you're not activating your chest at all. If you bring your elbow in, however, all of a sudden my chest is squeezed up and it's nice and compressed. So here, very little. Here, all of my chest is engaged and you'll feel it a lot better. Okay, so we really want to focus on efficient movement with all of these exercises. Okay guys, now I'm going to move on to a bit of back workout. Now I tend to focus a lot on pull-ups. Obviously if you don't have one of the door gyms, then you're going to be limited. Now I have seen a lot of people wedge a book underneath a door and hold onto the door. I am not going to try that because I don't want to damage my doors, but if you want to give it a go, there are plenty of instructional videos on YouTube and online to show you how you can do that. Obviously, if you've got a garden and you've got something hanging overhead like a tree branch or something similar, you can obviously use that too. So I'm going to use my, my door gym, and I'm just going to use a variation. I'm also going to use my trusty wooden hoops, and I will show you how I use these to work my back too. Another thing that I use to sort of add a bit of depth to my back workout is I'll sometimes do some form of dumbbell row. Now my dumbbells obviously aren't that heavy, so they don't really engage my back that much. However, a little trick that you can do if you are playing with lighter dumbbells like I am, is if you get one of your resistance bands and you anchor it to the floor, I use my exercise bike, you can then have that additional resistance, especially at the top part of your row where you are fully sort of squeezing that muscle. You'll have that additional resistance trying to pull the dumbbell back down to earth, and it will just help exhaust the muscle just that little bit more. Alright guys, so the last thing that I'm going to show you is going to be a core workout. Ideally you want a little bit of space with this. I'm just going to use my corridor here because I can do all of my core work on using this long space. Now if, like me, you're fortunate enough to have one of those door gyms, if you hang from it you can do some nice leg raises. Obviously just be aware if you are a bit too energetic that the door gym can come off, and nobody needs that. But yeah, right. Okay guys, there you have it. There is legs, push, pull and some core done. Obviously I've missed out arms. The reason is because there is so much that you can do with arms. If you've got any form of dumbbell, any kind of resistance band, you can do dumbbell curls, you can do tricep extensions, you can incorporate close grip push-ups for your triceps. You can do, if you have a door gym like I do, or you have anything outside that you can use, if you do really close grip pull-ups, you can really target your biceps. And let's be honest, of all the body parts, your core and your arms are going to be the easiest to fatigue quickly, whereas your back, your chest, your shoulders and your legs take a little bit more work. Right guys, I hope you enjoyed that. Like I say, it's not perfect, but like me, you can get your heart rate up, you can fatigue your body, and you can really try your best to stay in shape using what is some very simple equipment, if any, and just the desire to keep fit and stay healthy. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did guys, please smash that like button or just tap it, it's totally up to you. Comment down below if you want to see anything in particular. My arms are all over the place because they're now aching. And please consider subscribing guys. Let's get through this lockdown together. See you next time. Peace.